I'm Kylie of Kylie M Interiors, online paint color consultant and e-design expert. Today we're going to take a look at oak cabinets or oak flooring or trim, whatever you have that's oak, and we're going to learn what are the best paint colors to go with them and how to update them. Now the first thing you need to decide is whether you want to calm down your wood or if you want to enhance it. So if you want to enhance it, that means you want to bring the color out. You want the wood to pop a little bit more. Whereas if you want to, well, truthfully, if you want to modernize things and calm down the wood tones a little bit, you want things to blend a little bit more and create a softer, more subtle look with your oak cabinets. And we do that all with paint color. An important note here is that I'm going to show you a lot of paint color options. Now, I can't tell you they're going to look good in your kitchen because it depends on your backsplash, your countertop, your flooring, your natural light. But these will at least give you a place to start, and then you can see how your favorites work with the other finishes in your room. The other thing is there's quite a few paint colors we're going to talk about, so you might want to have a pen and pad of paper ready to write them down. Ready? Okay. So first we're going to look at gray paint colors. So our intention with these gray paint colors is we want to maybe modernize and update a bit, but we don't want things to pop too much. But I do find that a lot of grays can fall pretty flat against oak cabinets. You have to choose them very wisely. Now I'm using these two here today because they're the ones I see most commonly when I do my e-design. This one has more of the brownish approach. You can really see a little bit more of a yellow orange there. There are more orangey ones, and you can kind of use that as your baseline for those. And of course there's other stains, but I can only cover so many in one video. So let's get started. Big Chill. Sherwin Big Chill is a gray with a passive blue undertone. If you ask me, it's fallen a little flat. You're going to need a lot of natural light for this color to look good, especially with this. They just are a little bit murky and drab together because Big Chill doesn't really have much for undertone going on, so it's not really working with those. Now, if we go to Revere Pewter is a warm gray with a subtle green undertone, and things start talking to each other. So this subtle green, I love Revere Pewter with wood cabinets because it's kind of an organic looking color, so it's not as cold or stark, and it really plays into the natural look of the woods without making that wood pop too much. Let's look at another cool gray along the lines of Big Chill. Again, doesn't do anything for me. It's going against the grain, no pun intended. Whereas if we switch to Popular Gray, so look at that difference there. If we switch to Popular Gray, which is a warm gray with a soft purple undertone, you're really going to see that feels so much better. It actually really likes that little brown in there. And that's because it's a warm gray, so it has a little bit of brown in it. And it's actually quite lovely with that too. I have zero issues with that. Again, let's look at one that's not so hot. Not bad, but not so hot. Gray Owl is fine. Not good, not bad. Gray Owl is a gray with a blue-green undertone. But personally, as soon as we add that softness in there, and it really is for me, that little purple undertone that really talks nicely to these so that it updates and modernizes them without making that wood pop, without going against the grain too much. So you can see that there, Collingwood, that purple undertone is particularly stunning with that, works well with that too. Lastly, there is one coolish gray that I actually do like with cabinets, and I think it's because of the depth of it. It's got a little bit more body to it. And don't get me wrong, I still prefer those warm grays, but Stonington Gray is a little bit of a stormy gray, subtle blue-green undertone, and that's fine. You can do that, especially if you have some, white base quartz countertop. It's okay. It's doable. Let's look at some more. Now, if you really want that wood to dance, you want to look at the blue-green colors, but you want to be very careful because there's a difference between really bringing the wood to life and things getting a little too jazzy. So Palladian Blue, quite pretty. So Palladian Blue is a blue with a decent shot of green in it, a little bit of gray. Let's look at the difference between that and a more traditional blue color, which is just a hot mess if you ask me. The blue just feels too cold and too harsh against these lovely warm woods. They're in different families. There's nothing working there. And when you shift there, it's like, oh, that feels so much better. So when you're looking at these cool colors, I highly recommend, if you're a blue fan, find a blue with some green in it. Let's look at another example. Yeah, rain washed. It's like, oh my God, makes me so happy. So rain washed is a really nice blue-green blend. It's got a little bit more gray in it. Let's compare it to Palladium. So rain washed has a little bit more gray in it. And between the two, hands down, rain washed is a way prettier approach because it has that softer look. And oak is such a soft, pretty looking wood. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of oak, but personally, I love oak cabinets. The only thing that throws them can be, you know, if they have the cathedral top or exposed hinges, that can throw it a little bit for me and it dates them. Like here, I guess I could flip that fella around. There you go. So there's a cathedral top. That stuff certainly dates a bit. But for me, the general idea of oak cabinets, I love them. Oh, you gotta look at this one, sea salt. Sea salt is a super subtle green gray that loves to go blue, like straight up. So you do have to watch it, but I find that the green in it still calms it down a bit and makes it totally doable. So remember, this is if you want the wood to be accented and you want it to become stronger. You really want to glorify it. You're looking at these blue-green colors. You want things to calm down. You're going to go to those grays. Humor me for a sec. There we go. So calmer, funner. So there you go. Now, I've got a whole nother, oh no, one more. Oh, seriously? Conservative gray. Now, if you're going to pick a gray, if you're like, no, I like grays, I don't want blue, I don't want green, I want gray, and I don't like purple. Conservative gray is gorgeous. It's a gray with a green undertone, but it can go a bit green-blue at times. That right there, pure magic. So, I want to go to the warm colors now. So if you want your cabinets to be more subdued, more muted, you know, maybe you have north-facing light, so it's a cool feeling room, you might want to look at warm colors. Now, a lot of people are getting away from warm colors thinking that they're going to date their cabinets because these were often partnered with those old golden beiges, right? Or yellow, the worst. So you need to soften things up a little bit. Creamy. Creamy's okay, and I actually love creamy. Cream is a yellow-based paint color. It has a neutral base to calm it down, but the yellow of it sits a bit off with the orange. It's okay with the brown wood, but it's just like, not doing anything, right? But if we add a little bit of orange in there, like night and day difference, seriously. So if you're looking at those soft off-whites, you go from creamy, which you're like, okay, that's fine. Oh, Sherwin-Williams steamed milk is just, yeah, I love it. If you couldn't tell. Aesthetic white. So aesthetic white is a super modern off-white because it's a beige leaning slightly gray. And it is fine if you realize that your room does need a warm color, but you don't like creamy, you don't like beige. This is a really good solution because it nods towards the beige end without committing to that typical golden look. Now let's look at a bit of a fugly one. Well, it's not that it's bad, but Grant Beige. So Grant Beige is a beige with a bit of a green undertone. I find it looks a little murky, sits a little off, and it is even slightly contrasting those yellow-orange tones, and I'm not loving it. Now, if we switch that to a different type of beige, Sherwin-Williams Kiln Beige, which is more of an orange with a little bit of pink in it. Don't let the pink word scare you. I don't like pink either, but Kiln Beige is gorgeous. In all honesty, this isn't the most modern approach. Doesn't mean it's not the best color for your home with your tiles and backsplash and countertop, but it definitely isn't going to update your room. But if you like beige, updating is irrelevant. You go for it. Manchester Tan is popular, and it is fine. You know how women feel about the word fine. Yeah. So when we go like this, oh, we sneak muslin in there. So we're looking at two different types of tan or beige here, right? So muslin's a beige and it's got a little bit of an orange, touch of pink. Manchester Tan has that little tiny wink of green in there, and it's a little bit more grounded and grayed out. Drastic difference. Muslin is probably my favorite warm color with these wood cabinets. And as soon as you just shift out, it's like, right idea, wrong color. There's the right color. Benjamin Moore Muslin. Accessible Beige, another super popular beige. If you realize your kitchen needs warm colors, but you don't want a traditional beige. And that is fine. Again, fine is a wonderful word. What we want is awesome. So look at the difference, right? So there's accessible beige. You can see how gray it leans, right? Even sometimes can pick up a wink of green that makes me a little nervous at times. Look at the difference between those two beiges and how they react with the wood cabinets. Actually, let's grab muslin because you know I love me some muslin. Drastic difference. They're both versions of beige, but it's all in picking the right undertones. And I personally am more inclined towards a subtle orange undertone, maybe a little touch of pink in there, versus a little bit of a flatter approach. But again, you have to choose the one that best suits your entire room, your exposure, your backsplash countertop tile floor. I've got a couple more here, and I think these are ones I actually like both of them. Canvas Tan. You could also look at Sherwin-Williams Neutral Ground. Both of these are nice, warm, tan, neutral colors with very passive, soft undertones. Sherwin-Williams Natural Linen is gorgeous. I love it. It's got that little bit more orange in it, and for me, that orange is just what's making it. So I guess the takeaway would be I would avoid beiges that have a bit of a yellow green, and I would lean into ones that have a little bit more of an orange mixed in there. You're going to find a smoother flow with these cabinets. Now on my website, you will find hundreds of articles, seriously, almost 400 now, and it's growing practically daily. I have some great blog posts on updating oak cabinets. That's ideas for keeping your oak cabinets as they are, things to do elsewhere in your kitchen or your bathroom. But I also have ideas for painting them, as well as a fun questionnaire where you can decide whether painting your cabinets is actually a good idea or not. So thank you for watching my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Instagram. I'd love to see you there.